Hello and welcome to Channel's Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumo, and it's great to be on the show where we discuss books, books, and books. Well, today is a focus on the Nigeria International Book Fair. We're starting with the Nigeria International Book Fair, which is the biggest book fair in Nigeria. Book fairs are all over the world, as you well know. We've covered a number of them on this show over the years, and we are always talking about the importance of book fairs for countries. Book fairs are so important. They showcase the best of each country's literature and writers and authors, educators, publishers, etc. They are symbolic because they speak to the importance of literature, of books, of knowledge, of information. So book fairs are really important, and countries are taking them very, very seriously. It's a way of branding your country these days. For example, the Sharjah International Book Fair. I mean, you can't talk about Sharjah now and not talk about the Sharjah International Book Fair, because people from all over the world go to Sharjah every year just to attend the book fair, and the city uses it to showcase its many, its culture and its values and its character and the importance of literature and so on. So it's very important to have a functioning, effective, attractive book fair. Nigeria's own book fair is the Nigeria International Book Fair. It's a long way to go for the Nigeria International Book Fair to grow, but it has also come a long way from the very beginning. And given the circumstances, given the many, many obstacles faced by this book fair, it has, just hung on there and still going. So, the Nigeria International Book Fair 2025. Enjoy it.
It's the 24th edition of the Nigeria International Book Fair. This year, the event returns as a 3-day fair instead of the usual 5, but the turnout remains strong. Authors, booksellers, publishers, printers, teachers, students, and other key players in the book industry are all gathered here. The theme for this year's edition is Local Paper Production, Panacea to Affordable Book Production and Qualitative Education. At their international conference, the keynote speaker underscores the continuing relevance of paper even in an age of advancing technology, and emphasizes the need for Nigeria to invest in local paper production to make books more affordable and education more accessible.
It is time for Nigeria to begin to produce our own low-price edition books so that qualitative education that is affordable to every Nigerian, those people in the rural areas, those men, those women who says, oh, these books are too expensive, I can't afford it for my child. it is time for us to go back and do it and then produce it so that this thing can be made affordable.
Thank you so much, sir.
Following the conference, the official opening ceremony begins with the NIBF Trust Chairman leading dignitaries on a tour of various exhibition stands.
People are writing books because on weekly basis we receive books authored by Nigerians for assessment. And then when I came to the book fair, I was so impressed. The organization is so colorful, and then the participation is also, you can say, global.
This year's fair features a rich display of educational materials, children's books, motivational books, Montessori tools, learning aids, amongst others.
I saw so many interesting books that I could take. I learned how to write a poem. I learned how to draw a motif. I learned so many things. I learned how to stay in front of a crowd, an audience. I learned so many things.
The book fair gives opportunities for students to move around, different from going to school and coming back home and knowing more about books and storybooks.
There's this joy attached to the students when they come to see different books aside from the ones they are used to in the school. Because I'm talking from experience, I'm a librarian, and when they come, they see varieties of books, but when they come here, they see something that is even more than the one they are seeing already in the school. So it's a very different, it's a very good experience, and even
before I published it, I'd spoken to a very dear friend, Mr. Kunle. So his name features in the book. I mean, it's not him, it's just his name. Because when I spoke to him about writing detective stories in Lagos, he was saying that's interesting. It'll be good for us to have detectives in Lagos. So when I wrote the first one, I said, I think it would be nice to have his name there. So when he sees it, he remembers that we spoke about this thing years back.
Is the Tertiary Education Summit, now in its third edition, under the theme overcoming the global competitiveness challenge in our tertiary education landscape. Unlike previous years, where a keynote speaker took center stage, this year's summit features a panel of experts from universities across Nigeria who share insights and solutions.
I want to also talk about the area of international collaboration. It's been said that many people go and don't come back. We should start thinking of what to do to keep those people here when they come, either students or teachers. How can we keep them here? We need to be more friendly and let them know the values, the positive values of the Nigerian economy rather than the negative ones.
We're breathing very intelligent students, very quick students, but who have no character. And as a result of that, it is becoming a problem. So perhaps that is one of the areas that our institutions want to start to pay attention to.
Why should we be struggling with light? If we have an Inter-Africa project, if we have a sub-regional project, we would be able to generate enough energy. In fact, researchers tell us that if you can dam parts of the Congo River, you can supply all of Africa with hydro energy. That's just one river being dammed of the many rivers that we have.
When I teach my students, I tell them, I say, look, there is what we call interdisciplinary course now. As a student of mass communication, it's not enough for you to be able to write very well. You must also be digitally literate. So, the Department of Mass Communication and the Department of Computer Science, there has to be some synergy. Today, Nigerians have created so many apps. Flutterwave, I can remember, was created by a Nigerian or by Nigerians. So people must be able to add some value to what they have learned.
Ladies and gentlemen, this workshop is more than a demonstration of technology. It's a call to action. We must not stand by an passive observers as an passive observers of the digital revolution. We must lead it. Let us challenge the status quo, embrace this innovation, discover practical pathways to bring AI into the heart of our school system.
Other highlights include the Access Study Session, Printers Forum, Publishers Session, and many more.
This shows you how you are performing in all subjects, not just one. Any subject should be enrolled in, you see everything on this platform. Then you go to subjects. Now, which subjects am I enrolled in? As the teacher submitted any new material for me to work on?
Yeah, with this exhibition now, it's like bringing up awareness that there's a local production of bond paper in Nigeria.
It will make an impact because we as a printer, we are more affected because most of the printing jobs that are supposed to be done in Nigeria is being taken out of the country because of non-availability of this paper, which is the mainstay of our production. Now, of recent, we have seen that we have 2 paper mills. They are non-indigenous, but at least they have invested in the country and are producing paper, even though it is not up to the capacity required. But it is a step in the right direction.
Most of the products we have used locally in Nigeria are imported. And when we import, we use foreign exchange. And we know what our foreign exchange is now. Naira has gone to when you compare to dollar and the other currency. So we feel that we should be producing locally. And if we want to produce locally, we don't also have the raw materials locally. So we are saying to government, we have what it takes to produce the raw materials locally and then produce paper locally.
For over 2 decades, the Nigeria International Book Fair has remained a cornerstone of literacy advocacy, fostering knowledge exchange and promoting a thriving book culture both locally and internationally.
We can't stop talking about the importance of government getting behind the Nigerian International Book Fair. I know there are book fairs across the country, not many of them in Nigeria though, but when we have a book fair, we need to put in everything we've got behind it. The Nigerian International Book Fair particularly has grown over the years and deserves every support possible. During the Sharjah International Book Fair every year, the ruler of Sharjah opens the book fair, declares the book fair open every year without fail. And that brings focus and attention on the book fair. Imagine if the president of Nigeria, for example, or the governor of Lagos State were to open the Nigerian International Book Fair every year. How awesome that would be. But unfortunately, that just never happens. We've got to change that. Well, up next is something that is not exactly heartwarming. As a matter of fact, it's heartbreaking. Now, check your screen here. Now, what you are watching on your screen is heartbreaking, nothing short of heartbreaking. JAMB. The 2025 JAMB results, what you might well call UTME results, came out, and it's just sad, really. Sad, extremely sad. Only 0.24% of all the students, total of 1,955,069 students who took the UTME exam, only 0.24% of them scored 320 and above. Remember, the overall score for UTME is 400. Now, it gets worse. Only 0.39% of them scored between 300 and 319. But let's keep down and let's split the scores to half. 50%, 200. Only 17.11% scored between 200 and 249. Basically, only about 17% of all those who sat for UTME in 2025 scored above 200. That means all the rest scored below 200, failed the exam, basically. This is nothing short of a disaster. It's a problem we have to solve. It's heartbreaking, really. There's no excuse. We cannot talk about a great Nigeria without talking about education. Education is the bedrock for civilization. It has been like that for years. It will continue to be like that. Science, medicine, arts, philosophy, whatever it is, they are all based on education. Education is the bedrock for every single aspect of human endeavors. We need to pay attention to education. Our young people can't be writing JAMB and only 17% are scoring over 200. 200 is just a half mark. It's a disaster. People are talking about whether there are problems with the scoring. There are rumors about, there are doubts about the scoring, the marking, and all that. Whatever the problem is, the government needs to deal with it. Needs to get to the bottom of it. There has to be a forensic investigation. What is going on? Because this kind of result speaks to a failed educational system, and we can't allow that. If we want to advance as a country, we need to deal with it. And this is just one. Our schools, our universities, what's happening to research funding? What's happening to funding of our federal universities? What's happening to teacher training? What's happening to our libraries? How are kids, our young people reading, studying, and all those things? There's so many aspects. We can't begin to talk about them. But this is Channel's Book Club. We try to focus on intellectualism and education and knowledge and information on this show. Perhaps we're going to bring in somebody very soon just to talk about these JAMB results and talk about what is really going on with our young people. Are they the problem, or it's our educators, our educational system? I guess it's a combination of everything. We just need to find what the problems are and fix them fast. Well, let's try and end the episode on a bright note. Enjoy this reading.
Amadito Adinrile Afolabi, the author of the book Never Too Late. This book is a fiction inspired by the fact that I worked as a co-occurring therapist, counseling people with addictions and substance abuse counseling. Most people, when they have substance abuse, especially alcoholism and mental health disorder, they all work hand in hand. Alcoholism has been declared as a disease in the United States. It's a disease, is a fatal disease, and because of the fact that most people with addictions always, with mental health, always use substance to mar whatever is going on with them, it becomes a real issue with them. So I wrote this book to inspire people. It's a fiction. Everything here is all fiction. It has nothing to do with anyone I have counseled in the past. I'll read a little bit from this book. The chapter 1 says, bungled opportunities. School started at 8 a.m. this Monday. It was already 7:45 a.m. and students were rushing through the gates to beat the bell. Francine walked briskly towards the classroom to drop her bag in her locker before rushing to the assembly. Georgina was in the same shoes as Francine. Many students were already in the assembly hall. The teachers, the senior prefect, and the assistant were all converged. Morning assembly started in earnest. The process went smoothly from the national anthem to the Pledge of Allegiance and announcements. The teacher on duty started a song, a quote that turned into a song, and the students chorused it. They sang happily. The students started marching towards their various classes, singing the song with the lyrics to ponder upon. And the lyrics is this: I shall pass through this earth but once. Any good thing I can do, any kindness I can show, to any woman or man on earth, let me do it now. And the chorus is, let me not deter, let me not neglect it, for I shall never, for I shall never, for I shall never pass this way again. We all have opportunities in life. A lot of people bungle their opportunities, and this book is to tell you that whatever situation you go through, second chances are available for you. Substance abuse and mental health disorder can derail people easily. But if you know what you're doing and you have people to support you, you can get back on track and you can be able to perform effectively in life. Let me tell you about Francine. Francine was an intelligent, all-round, all-A student and a good sprinter that had represented the school with immense success. She was also a force reckoned with within the school's debating society and will be a senior prefect in the senior year. She had great leadership traits and qualities. Everything was working well for her in everybody's view. She had grown into a beautiful, mature, understanding, compassionate, studious, and brilliant young lady, beauty and brain personified. Francine's debating skill was unmatched in the county. Several scholarships were awaiting her high school completion. Francine was outright forthright, principled, outspoken, yet an introvert, and brilliant. At her youthful age, she had integrity, the key to a fruitful and effortless life, always holding on to whatever is true and not minding anyone. To her, truth was sacred. Her absence in school was a rude shock to everybody because she was in an accident. Francine was very brilliant, but Francine had a heart of gold. She loves helping people. The milk of kindness was flowing in her veins. But Georgina and her friends were bullies. And I'll read a little bit about Georgina and her friends. Georgina and her friends tried to make life unbearable for Francine, but she ignored them. Georgina had two friends, Ella and Elizabeth. who were wannabes. These wannabes adored Gina for the wrong reasons, and that is what we go through in our day-to-day activities today. Young people follow people who will lead them astray. Georgina and her friends were leading each other astray, and because of what they were doing, they were able to derail themselves by their own making. So this book, being a fiction, is something you can get, and I hope our higher institutions and our high schools can adopt it so people can begin to realize from the beginning how to cope with what they are going through in life. Thank you.
This is where we have to end the show today. As always, we'll be very delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.